In the book, Lowney alleges that after Ferguson and Andrew were evicted from Royal Lodge, she went chaotic with her money habits, even using her daughter Beatrice's credit card. Dee Dee, Lowney also writes about Andrew's infamous collection of teddy bears, saying Andrew made a royal valet fly all the way back to Asia from the UK because Andrew had left one of these teddy bears behind. Obviously, he travels with these stuffed toys.
Yes.
I mean, this is just weird.
Fergie accused of using daughter's card after Royal Lodge fallout. Before we dive into this royal roller coaster, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more jaw-dropping royal family stories, scandals, and hidden drama. Imagine waking up one morning to headlines claiming a duchess once borrowed her daughter's credit card after being pushed out of a royal residence. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, that's exactly the kind of explosive claim now surrounding Sarah Ferguson, better known to millions simply as Fergie. For decades, Fergie has been one of the most colorful personalities connected to the British royal family. She's funny, unpredictable, charming, and somehow always surrounded by controversy. But according to shocking allegations mentioned in royal author Andrew Lowney's book, things may have become far more chaotic behind palace walls than anyone imagined. The claim? After she and Prince Andrew were reportedly forced out of Royal Lodge, Ferguson allegedly spiraled into troubling financial habits, including using Princess Beatrice's credit card. Yes, her daughter's card. And suddenly, royal watchers everywhere began asking the same question. How did things get this bad? Because when people imagine royal life, they picture glittering chandeliers, endless luxury, private chefs, and priceless jewelry collections. Nobody imagines a duchess potentially relying on her daughter financially. So what really happened behind the scenes? And could this story reveal a much darker reality about life inside the royal bubble? The rise of Fergie, Britain's most unpredictable royal. Long before the scandals, Sarah Ferguson was considered the breath of fresh air the monarchy desperately needed. When she married Prince Andrew in 1986, the world instantly fell in love with her fiery red hair, infectious laugh, and relatable personality. Unlike the polished and ultra-formal royals around her, Fergie felt human. She laughed loudly. She made mistakes publicly. She joked around. She looked approachable. And for a while, Britain adored her. In fact, many royal fans believed she brought energy and warmth to Buckingham Palace at a time when the monarchy often appeared distant and stiff. But there was one small problem. Fergie didn't quite fit into the royal machine. The palace expected discipline, structure, and carefully controlled public appearances. Fergie, meanwhile, often acted spontaneously, which occasionally led to embarrassing headlines. And those headlines started piling up fast. From controversial photos to financial troubles, Sarah Ferguson quickly became tabloid gold. Still, despite divorcing Prince Andrew in 1996, she somehow remained deeply connected to royal life. And that unusual relationship would later become one of the most fascinating mysteries in modern royal history. Because even after divorce, Fergie never really left Andrew's world, which makes what happened next even more shocking. Royal Lodge, the mansion at the center of everything. If walls could talk, Royal Lodge would probably need its own documentary series. Located in Windsor Great Park, Royal Lodge is no ordinary home. The massive estate has long been associated with wealth, prestige, and royal privilege. Prince Andrew reportedly lived there for years, and despite their divorce, Fergie often stayed there too. Now, pause for a second and think about that. How many divorced couples continue living together in a giant royal mansion decades after splitting up? Exactly. Their unusual arrangement constantly sparked public curiosity. Some wondered if they were secretly still together. Others thought they simply couldn't let go of their royal lifestyle. Either way, Royal Lodge became symbolic of their complicated relationship. But maintaining such a grand property isn't cheap. Not even close. Massive staff costs, security expenses, maintenance bills, luxury renovations. Royal homes can swallow money faster than most people can imagine. And according to growing reports over the years, Prince Andrew's finances became increasingly strained, especially after his public controversies damaged both his reputation and royal standing. Suddenly, the glamorous image surrounding Royal Lodge began cracking. And behind those giant gates, financial pressure may have been building quietly for years. But nobody expected the situation to allegedly reach the point described in Loney's book. The eviction rumors that rocked the royals. Royal evictions sound almost impossible. After all, how do you kick out a prince? But whispers surrounding Prince Andrew's living situation began growing louder over the past few years. Reports suggested King Charles wanted to reduce royal spending and slim down the monarchy. Maintaining expensive properties tied to controversial royals reportedly became a growing concern. And Prince Andrew's scandals had already created enormous public backlash. Many critics questioned why he continued enjoying royal privileges despite stepping back from public duties. Then came reports that Andrew and Ferguson were effectively being pushed out of Royal Lodge. The palace never framed it dramatically, of course. Royal communications are usually wrapped in polite language and carefully chosen wording. But royal experts began describing the situation as a financial and personal crisis for Andrew and Fergie. Imagine the emotional impact for a moment. A once glamorous royal couple, living in a sprawling estate, now facing uncertainty about their future. It sounds less like a fairy tale and more like the ending of a luxury reality show. And according to allegations now making headlines, this period may have triggered chaotic financial behavior behind the scenes, including claims involving Princess Beatrice's credit card. But before jumping to conclusions, there's an important question worth asking. What kind of financial pressure were they actually under? The answer may surprise you. Royal life isn't always as rich as it looks. Here's something many people don't realize. Not every royal is swimming in endless cash. Sure, the palaces are magnificent. The events are glamorous. The wardrobes, and for royals no longer fully supported by the institution, things can get complicated fast. Fergie has openly discussed financial troubles before. Over the years, she reportedly dealt with debts, business pressures, and public embarrassment surrounding money. Remember the infamous 2010 scandal where she was secretly filmed allegedly offering access to Prince Andrew in exchange for cash? That incident damaged her reputation badly. And while she later rebuilt parts of her image through books, TV appearances, and business ventures, financial rumors never fully disappeared. This is why the latest allegations feel believable to many royal watchers. Because the public has already seen signs of money struggles surrounding the York family before. Still, using your daughter's credit card, that detail stopped people in their tracks. It instantly transformed the story from financial trouble into something far more personal. And honestly, that's why the internet exploded. Because suddenly people weren't just discussing royal finances. They were discussing family dynamics. Princess Beatrice, the daughter caught in the middle. Princess Beatrice has often been viewed as one of the quieter royals. Compared to the endless drama surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle or the intense spotlight on William and Kate, Beatrice usually stays relatively low profile. But growing up inside the York family couldn't have been easy. Imagine watching your parents constantly appear in headlines. Financial controversies, public criticism, royal scandals. That kind of environment shapes people. Yet despite everything, Beatrice has maintained a surprisingly graceful public image, which is exactly why allegations involving her credit card feel so startling. If true, many people wonder whether Beatrice stepped in to help her mother during difficult times. And to be fair, families helping each other financially isn't unusual at all. Millions of parents and children support one another every day. But because this involves royals, the story becomes magnified 10 times over. People expect royalty to exist above ordinary money problems. So when claims emerge suggesting otherwise, public fascination skyrockets. And suddenly, people begin asking uncomfortable questions. How financially stable are some royals really? How much pressure exists behind palace doors? And how much of royal life is actually just maintaining appearances? Those questions are exactly why stories like this spread so quickly online. Because beneath the crowns and ceremonies, people are seeing something unexpectedly relatable. Family stress. Prince Andrew's shadow still looms large. It's impossible to discuss the York family without acknowledging the enormous controversy surrounding Prince Andrew. His reputation has faced devastating damage over recent years, and public trust in him collapsed dramatically. That fallout reportedly affected everything: his public role, his finances, his influence within the monarchy. And when one family member experiences that level of scandal, the entire family often feels the impact. Could financial strain connected to Andrew's situation have contributed to instability around Royal Lodge? Many royal experts think so, because maintaining royal lifestyles without full institutional support becomes incredibly difficult. And perhaps that's what makes this story feel less shocking to insiders than to the public. Behind the royal image may exist enormous financial pressure that ordinary people rarely see. Luxury lifestyles can become traps, especially when appearances matter more than reality. And in royal circles, appearances matter constantly. Which brings us to an uncomfortable possibility. Was Royal Lodge less a symbol of privilege and more a symbol of denial? Could Fergie ever fully escape controversy? At this point, Sarah Ferguson almost feels permanently linked to public drama. Yet oddly enough, many people still root for her. Why? Because unlike some royals who appear distant or overly polished, Fergie often comes across as emotionally open and imperfect. She talks candidly. She laughs at herself. She seems less robotic than traditional royal figures. And maybe that vulnerability explains why people continue paying attention instead of simply dismissing her. But controversies like these also damage credibility. Every new allegation reopens old questions about judgment, finances, and decision-making. And in today's internet culture, stories spread globally within minutes. One headline can instantly reshape public perception, especially when it involves royal family drama. Still, whether people criticize or defend Ferguson, one thing is certain. The fascination surrounding her isn't disappearing anytime soon, because the royal family remains one of the world's greatest real-life soap operas. And audiences always come back for the next episode. The allegations surrounding Sarah Ferguson and Princess Beatrice's credit card have added yet another dramatic chapter to the ever-complicated York family story. Whether every detail proves accurate or not, the claims have already sparked intense conversation about royal finances, family loyalty, and the hidden pressures behind palace walls. And perhaps the biggest surprise of all is this. For all the luxury, titles, and royal traditions, the problem sounds strangely ordinary. Families helping each other, financial stress, public embarrassment, trying to hold life together when everything feels uncertain. Only in this case, the entire world is watching. So what do you think? Do you feel sympathy for Fergie? Or should royals be held to a higher standard when it comes to money and responsibility? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this debate is definitely far from over.